An AI on a company's board of directors? I mean, that sounds like something straight out of a science fiction novel, right? But what if I told you it's not just some future possibility? It's actually happening right now. We're going to break down how artificial intelligence is making its way into the C-suite and what that really means for the future of business. Okay, so let's just dive right into this timeline because it's pretty wild. Back in 2015, the World Economic Forum made this big prediction. They said we'd probably see the first AI on a corporate board by 2026. But here's the crazy part. Reality was already way ahead of them. A full year before that prediction, a venture capital firm had already appointed an algorithm named Viddle to its board. And since then, we've seen AI managers like Alicia T at public companies, and even a humanoid robot named Mika appointed as a CEO. So yeah, the future didn't wait around, it just showed up early. And you might be thinking these appointments are just clever PR stunts, but they're not. They represent a really fundamental shift. They're forcing us to ask some pretty serious questions about how we integrate this kind of non-human intelligence into the absolute highest levels of corporate strategy and decision-making. So, how are companies actually pulling this off? I mean, how do you even begin to plug an AI into a huge, complex organization? Well, it turns out there are two main strategies that are really starting to take shape. The first path is to basically build a single, powerful AI brain, a kind of digital command center that sees everything and gives you a complete, real-time view of the entire company. The second path is a bit more flexible. It's more like creating a whole team of specialist AI assistants. Each one handles a specific job, and then their insights are all fused together to make decisions. Now, to really get your head around the power of that first approach, the command center, just look at this number. The Abu Dhabi National Oil Company has a system called Panorama, and it's being fed by roughly 10 million sensors. 10 million. That is just a staggering, mind-boggling amount of data flowing in constantly. And this right here perfectly illustrates why a company would do this. I mean, for a massive corporation with over 60 billion in revenue, a system like Panorama creates what you could call radical transparency. It slashes costs, tracks every little thing in real time, and uses AI to spot insights that a human being might just completely miss. It's all about building a hyper-efficient, purely data-driven organization. But, and this is a huge but, with that kind of centralized, data-driven power, you run headfirst into some massive risks. And it all really boils down to one critical and very, very difficult question. No, seriously, think about it for a second. If an AI makes a mistake that costs $1 billion, who takes the fall? Is it the programmers who wrote the code, the CEO who approved the system? Can you even blame the AI itself? This isn't just a philosophy question for a classroom, it's the central legal and ethical nightmare of accountability in the age of AI. And right at the very heart of this accountability mess is what everyone calls the black box problem. See, we can feed an AI millions of data points, and it can spit out an incredibly accurate answer or a brilliant recommendation. The problem is, we often have absolutely no idea how it got there. We can see the final answer, but we can't see the work. It's all hidden inside this mysterious black box. And here's the crucial thing. That black box isn't just mysterious. It can be downright dangerous. Because unintended bias can creep into the AI at every single stage. It can come from historical data that reflects old prejudices, it can get amplified while the model is training itself, or it can be coded right into the algorithms by well-meaning but still flawed human developers. It's that classic saying, right? Garbage in, biased garbage out. So if these systems are basically black boxes that can soak up our worst biases, how on earth can we build an AI decision maker that we can actually trust to be fair and accountable? How do we build a better boss? Well, the most promising solution is actually a big shift in thinking. Instead of trying to build an AI that thinks like a human, with all our nuance and our messy gray areas, the idea is to build a specific, machine-readable world for the AI to operate within. This is the key right here, because you're creating a totally controlled environment with hard, solid rules the AI can perfectly understand and follow. So what does that look like? The core idea is to create two completely different sets of company policies. One set is for humans, written in normal language that relies on our judgment and common sense. And the other is for the AI, written purely as code, a set of clear, unambiguous rules and metrics that act as its operational guardrails. There's just no room for misinterpretation. And what's really amazing about this is that you can embed our core principles of fairness directly into that code. The AI only operates based on rules we all agree to. Its code can explicitly forbid discrimination based on things like race or gender or age. And you can program it to distribute risks and resources based on statistical models that we ourselves define as fair. We are literally hard coding its ethics. Okay, so let's play this out for a second. Let's imagine a company completely nails this. They build a powerful, transparent, and provably fair AI decision-making system. What happens next? Well, the consequences could completely reshape our entire economy. This is where we need to talk about the idea of a technological singularity, but in a business context. This could mean that companies run by these hyper-efficient AIs get such a massive competitive advantage that it creates a kind of feedback loop. They become more profitable, which lets them build even better AIs, and they start innovating at a pace that human-led companies simply can't match. This could fundamentally alter entire markets, leaving competitors permanently behind in the dust. And that leaves us with this one last, really provocative thought. It was sparked when Sophia the robot was granted citizenship. As we design these incredibly powerful AIs to run our companies, we're being forced to codify our own rules, our own ethics, and our own values in ways we never, ever have before. It turns out, the quest to build a better, more logical boss might just be the ultimate test of how logical and how fair we ourselves really are.